Hello everyone and welcome back to KitbashCarnage. So today we're going to take a look at some more sprues from our friend over at Wargames. Take a look in the description below to go over and check out his channel. So basically we have a few sprues here. I'm not going to go through them as in much detail because our mate Dan over in Wargames goes through these sprues in great detail and does much better reviews than we ever could. So just a quick look at what we're going to use. We'll take a few bits from each of these, a body and maybe some legs from here, and then a head and some guns from the other sprue. Mix and match, do a bit of kitbashing. We're going to try and do some type of a Lizardman in this kitbash. So here you see we got a few bits from each sprue like we said, and then a few other bits that we had lying around. So these blue bits are just electronical bits, like an eye kind of piece, and then a few other bits just to add more detail. So we're going to start sticking the chest together here with some Tamiya extra thin, and then we're going to move on to try and move on to not drop everything first of all. We're going to move on to this rocket launcher. So I thought of having kind of a mechanized rocket launcher that's kind of controlled. It's stuck on the back, which gives the Lizardman being able to have his two free arms. I say two free arms, but one of the arms has ended up holding one of the like armor packs. So, but still, you know what I mean. It means this is kind of like in what is it called, Predator. You have the rocket kind of gun on the shoulder, so it can fire. As you can see, where this is us trying to orientate where the rocket's going to come out of, and then as you see, we're trying to dry fit it kind of in this position where we want it on the back. Give it enough room for the head and everything to go. So we need to start drilling out a hole in this rocket, and then we're going to pin it into place. You can't really in the end see like the whole pin, and it's supposed to look like the rocket's coming out. It didn't come out as good as I wanted it to, but that's where we improve, and you know, that's what this hobby's all about, is just trying things and improvising and improving and on your skills, and just learning new techniques and stuff. So using some gel super glue, we're going to stick this rocket to the back of the Lizardman, and hopefully this sticks on nicely. And then after getting that in the orientation we want, we're going to move on and start sticking the other arms in place. So I remember I kind of mentioned there was like an ammo pack. So this is kind of going to be the ammo pack for the like rocket launcher on its back, and it's just going to be belt fed in a kind of a way. So I know it mightn't make sense, but you know, this is like fantasy kind of imagination. You know, nothing really needs to make sense. It's your own figure, and if it kind of makes sense on how it works, then that's all we can ask for. So I'll go with another arm here, so a big gun on the other arm. I like the way it shows the musculature here, so when we're painting at the end we have more of the colored kind of scales bits, and we'll add on to that with some more texture and stuff like that, just to get more scaly bits. I really appreciate all the subscribers recently. We've just pushed past the 600 mark, so thank you all so much for all the subscribers. Oh, okay, there goes the rocket launcher. Yeah, we'll pick that. Yeah, we'll just put that. No one's seen that. You didn't see that. Pretend no one's seen that. Shh, calm down. No one's seen that. Just slip that back there, and a bit more glue. Now, so this is how he's looking so far, and then after that we attach the rocket coming out of the rocket launcher, and then the belt fed mechanism, as you see there, that's going into the rocket launcher. And then goes into the box, the ammo case. And yeah, it doesn't really make sense how these rockets are fed through that really thin strip, but just imagination. We'll move on now to the tail, so using some pre-made green stuff that we just mixed up off camera there, and then we're going to grab a little bit of this and roll it into a sausage formation, and then by getting a paper clip we just bent into like a little squiggle. Basically we're just going to form the green stuff over it and then make it into some type of a tail formation. So you can see here we made it into somewhat of a tail, and then we're going to use a silicone tip tool to just kind of indentate some little bits on the sides here, so like little lines just to make it look like scales. Not too noticeable, but just that little bit of texture and that little bit of detail just makes the tail kind of come to life that bit more. And then we're adding some little bit of extra green stuff on that muscular arm, and we're just going to make some indentations on it as to kind of make it look like the scales, so just give that bit more definition, and then go in with a XPS piece of scrap XPS foam. I can't even speak. A scrap piece of XPS foam, and then drill a hole straight through the top of some skulls, and then stick them with a pin, attach the tail, and there we go. He's all stuck on there. We'll go out then and we'll base coat him with some black and white, just to give it a little bit of shadow, and then a bit of light on the top, more the top of the miniature. And then we'll get our greens and our other type of paints, and we'll just go and quickly paint this guy up. You all know how much I like to paint, so if I don't use the right terminology or don't do anything correctly, just bear with me. You know, we're trying to get back into the painting process, so quickly just trying to pick out some bits and bobs, using some excess paints left in our wet palette here. So apologies if I don't know the names of these ones, but we're just mixing these up just to get kind of like a I can't even speak. I'm gonna leave all this in. I would have cut that out, but I'm gonna leave that in. I'm trying to make a camouflage type of look. I didn't want to use green as much on the kind of clothing, because obviously the lizard is going to be green, so I used a lighter color, kind of like browns and more toned down colors, just to give it a more camouflage look, but not a green camouflage look, if any of that makes sense, because I just didn't want it to contrast the green skin that the lizard is going to have. Then we're just going to go in with a metallic color, paint all the metal bits that we want up, let that dry, and then paint obviously the ammo belt fed thing there. I can't even speak. Like, I can't speak right now. I'm going to leave all this in just so you know that I can't speak. Sometimes I try to do these voiceovers and massive fails. But this is what it looks like after we pick some more details out. We'll go in then with our greens, lighten up the actual skin itself on the lizard, and then we'll give it a nice wash at the very end. I kind of, after I done the wash, I realized it kind of dulled down a lot of the colors, not as much as I wanted it to, so I could have probably have done the wash a little bit lighter, but you know, it is what it is. This is what we do. It's a learning process. We'll go in then with some glue and just stick some basing on the base itself. Afterwards we go in and paint a bit of black, just covering up some mistakes. And also, this is another thing that I haven't been doing, but is a thing that really helps along the line, is highlighting colors, as you see on the tail and some of the tips of the heads. Yeah, I'm just going to stop talking. Thank you all for sticking around this long. I really appreciate it all. Catch you all in the next one. Like, subscribe, and comment. I'll see you later.